Can you hear me now? Hello? How about now? Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Can you hear me? Hello, everybody. Can you hear the words that come out of my mouth? No one will say, come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Nobody is joining me, including my sister Stephanie. I'm not quite sure if she's having some technical difficulties. But I hope everybody had a wonderful week. Hey, girl. There she is. Hello. Hi. There she is. Can you hear me?
I can't.
Okay, great. I can hear you now, though.
You can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, I sang a little jingle and everything, waiting on you. You want to hear it?
Yeah,
Come
here we go.
on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church
Yeah,
Girls
church goes,
Chronicles. Come
goes.
on
Come on
in, come
in,
on
church goes.
in, come on in.
Okay, come on up. Come on in. Church
Church Girls
goes,
Chronicles. Come on.
goes.
Go.
Church
Wait,
goes.
you can't.
I
You
can't do the
delayed.
beat.
Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, Church Girls Chronicles. Come on in, come on in, come on in. That's how it goes.
Okay, let's do it again. One, two, ready, go. Come
Come
on
on
in.
in, Church Girls
Church goes,
Chronicles.
chronicles.
Come on
Ch-
in, Church Girls
church goes,
Chronicles.
chronicles.
Delayed. We tried. We just have to record it.
Yes.
Put it on
Yes, I
your
don't understand it. Why is the craziness happening at the Chronicles of the Churches? Okay.
Oh my God. What's up? Did you miss me last week?
I did. I had an awesome time with our co-host. Amen. She was a present help in the
She
time of trouble.
was in a time
And,
of absence. A
and
very
so we are
present help.
greatly appreciative of the present help that she is. Amen.
Yes, Jazz got on here. Our niece Jasmine King
Uh-huh.
Jr.,
The good lady, first lady of the churches.
First
Amen.
Lady of Living
And the
Hope.
Lord.
What is it? Living
Amen.
Hope Christian Fellowship.
Living Hope Christian Fellowship. Yes, it is.
Yes, that's the
That's the
church.
name of it.
She's First Lady. Amen. She hates
That's
it.
Lady
Called
Jazz.
cringing.
And
All
we
right.
do appreciate her.
We do. We do. I did watch the show. It was great. It
Hmm.
was really good. The discussion was good. It was a good
Just
conversation
nice dialogue. It was good dialogue. I
about
really
it
appreciated
was
her.
lavender marriages and what was the other thing?
Uh,
Living together apart.
yeah, living together part, and I think that just where it led us in conversation was a blessing as well. Just being able to talk about what marriage, the culture when as it relates to marriage, especially in
Hmm.
the church, the idea of what God designed for marriage,
Right.
just across the board, and just that the the obscurity through which we kind of practice these ideas that
I
are
can see your whole
institutions.
face.
Oh, the obscurity through which we kind of practice these ideas, and these are whole institutions that God put in place. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Yeah.
so I feel like we got to be a little bit better, amen, in what we
I'm
do.
liking your headset situation. It sounds nice.
Thank you. Does it sound good?
It
Amen.
does. It does. It does.
I
Hi,
like the headset.
Michelle. Thank you for
Hey,
joining
Michelle,
us.
the blue.
So tonight we were like going back and forth about a couple of topics, and
We
we got
were.
into a good debate about one of them that we are not going to touch right now.
No.
But we can't, like, we were like, okay, it is February, it's Black History Month, and we were both like, Black History Month where?
Right.
Because we used to do Black History Month big.
We did, honey. We used to do Black History Month. I don't think
Like
people
it was a
understand.
job.
Listen here, Rosa Bradley, Oscar Bradley, the Pretty Grove, Pretty Baptist Church.
And Valerie
Listen,
Bradley Bivens.
Valerie Bradley Bivens,
She could
and
bring
all the
coming for young
people.
people, couldn't she?
Okay, and listen, we did the things. I don't
I
understand.
don't. So everybody who's jumping in here, first of all, thank you for joining us for Church Girls Chronicles here on this Thursday at 7 p.m. We know that you could be doing anything else, but we
Yes,
appreciate the fact that you are spending time with us.
yes,
So after you like and share, we ask that you jump in these comments, let us know where you're joining us from, and also tell us what was your favorite thing about celebrating Black History Month coming up when you were growing up
yes. Share with us
in the hood or in the suburbs or wherever it was you were
wherever you
from.
was growing up, child, because we was out there doing
Whether
multiple
you
things.
whether you did it at school like we did,
Yes,
whether you did it at church like we
we
did,
did. Yeah,
whether you
Lord,
did a community program for the
like,
folks in the community like we
like
did,
we did. We did
man,
everywhere.
we hit all the bases. She drinking her tea.
Am I? I'm giving tea today.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you how I was just telling somebody the other day. Well, actually, last year it came up for me hard and heavy because there was no celebration where I work. And I'm and I think what threw me off is the majority of the staff, especially administrative parts, people, um, are black. So I
Yeah.
was like, why we not around here like, throwing confetti in the air and like, what is going on? Right, what is going on? What is the height? Where
Why was
don't
you afraid, Soror? Soror said she was afraid of Black History Month when she was.
oh Lord,
You got to tell us why in the
Sarah.
comments. But go ahead, Steph. You was
It was
wondering why all the
crazy.
blacks.
Yeah, what was going on with the peoples of color? And so I didn't say nothing because I wasn't in a position to do so. Just
Mm-hmm.
kind of let it rock and roll, you know. And I didn't say much. This year I can't say nothing
Why can't you say nothing?
because I'm federally connected.
Oh, so what does that mean though? Like, what does that look like for you now?
So in my job space, I cannot discuss anything. And so we are not, from my understanding, like, we are not allowed to do those things. So I thought it interesting because this is the first year I've ever walked into the space where I am employed and saw so much Black history. I was like, wait a minute now. I mean, banners and door coverings and bulletin boards. I said, y'all better go on out here and just let the world know we're gonna do what we want to do over here. And so I appreciated the unity, I think, of it all, right? But it was just interesting to me because I was like, this time last year I was looking for something. This time this
Right.
year,
Mm-hmm.
it's like bam, bam, bam. And I mean, it was up on January 28th.
Oh, we is here.
It was up, child. I was like, anybody to remind nobody?
Really?
I said, okay. Um, and if I understand things correctly, there's some kind of programming that's actually happening. But it made me think last year about how much I missed, like growing up, and it was a big deal.
It was a
And
big deal.
there was no sense of big deal at all about it anymore. Maybe it's because I'm disconnected from the
No.
church, which is it's a whole nother. Well, at the time I was I wasn't in a community of believers that made it a big deal because the big deal it was for us was created in the church, or in our home and then in the church.
Yes. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't know because I was having a similar issue. I'm still kind of having a similar issue this year. At where I work, and
Uh-huh.
so I brought it up. And where I work demographically, Black people are underrepresented, and the students are underrepresented, right?
Okay.
So for Latino and Hispanic Heritage Month, they do this big thing and they rent costumes and blah 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 blah. And I was like,
For
where
There's our
lackluster.
costumes. And what did we not, what? So I mentioned it one time to one person, and all of a sudden, these white guys come to me and they're like, oh, we have all these great ideas for Black History Month. And I was like,
Not
what
allowed.
you mean?
Who said that? Who said? But you allowed though, because I need your help.
Right. At first, I was like, okay, but see, apparently the history department thought it was their job to do it for only for
Okay.
Black History Month, which I thought was interesting. Not for
Okay.
Hispanic Heritage Month. We had a few Latino teachers who pulled it together for Hispanic Heritage Month, but for they never thought it was their job to do it for Hispanic Heritage Month. But for
Because
Black History Month, they felt like it was their job to take the reins on planning the Black History Month program.
because you can't
So
talk about the history of America without talking about black people. So I can see where they have a point or where they take up the cause because I mean, and we love our, Latino brothers and sisters.
yes,
However, and some of them, may have been incorporated generationally through enslavement, but we have been here, honey, since the beginnings. Okay,
beginning
when the
of
peoples
the
came over here from, we was on the boats, the Pinto, the Maria, and the
Santa
Santa thing,
Maria and the,
all of
what is
them.
it?
We was on it.
Them, the
Okay.
three
The
boats.
confusion was that, there was none of us, the people that look like us, but that's not the truth also. And so it's important. That's not the truth also.
I know,
Okay.
I know, I know. The truth
What you,
also, Your Honor.
okay, it's not the truth also, Your Honor. Um, I saw some funny things on that good old internet this week. But anyway,
I've been trying to stay away, which is
oh,
kind of reductive to what we were
I
doing. But it's
know,
okay, you know.
but some funny things on the internet out here in these streets. But I want you to know that so it makes sense to me that the history teachers would want to be effective and
And
cooperative.
where I agree with that, I I I think what really gave me pause is
Mhm,
when one of the history teachers
mhm,
decided that how do I say this? Decided that it was his mission to make
mm.
sure that the black people at the
I'm not
school
mad.
knew that he knew these particular things about black history. And I'm going to come with the most controversial thing because nobody's going to think I know that. Like it was borderline Hotep. And I was like, wait a
Well, I ain't
minute.
really mad at you. I'm not mad at that because you know what? I'm tired anyway. I'm at the point now. I'm tired of educating the world about black folks. Listen, somebody else take up the cause because we've been here doing it for a long time and we are as much a part of history as it is important for you to let us. Because, honey, we got a whole colonial day. They shuts our school down.
What?
Nobody
What is
say that
that?
you be saying this, but because I was whole like tripping about our history department does like this colonial thing day, and I said next year it kind of took me by surprise. They walk around skirts, the little hat things. I
Colonial
said
is
next
too
year
close to colonization.
so this is the crazy thing that gets me right. So because you know where I did that, and it was a whole like reenactment, like a whole like with the little store and all that. I said, well, they left out a part. So next year I'm gonna come with some chains and some
Because
things.
that's what was going on.
Yeah,
Tell the
no,
truth and shame the devil.
outside
But
the
and
with a
I mean,
little raggedy dress
although
on.
I'm all here for him educating himself and being down, but it wasn't coming off that way at all. It was really more of him trying to prove a point that I'm down. I grew up in Compton. I'm like, okay, but
Oh, he
you
grew up
I'm
in
still you
Compton.
still white though.
So
Like,
he's having a little, I almost said something crazy.
yeah, like I was
He was
like,
having a
oh,
little see me. I got black
yes.
friends
He
moment,
was
honey. I got
making it
black friends.
about him.
Yeah, I got black friends. All
Right.
my
And he
friends
was
are
very much
black,
making it about I want
and
to
my
make sure
girlfriend
that
black
they
too.
know that I know this and I want to I'm like, sir, it's not about you though.
All my friends are black, and my girlfriend black too.
Right
Stop.
type of vibe.
Right. I
And
have been
so
invited to the cookout for years. Okay,
exactly.
I've been at the cookout for
So and
years.
I made the potato salad and they liked it.
Okay, I make potato salad and I don't
Like it
put
was definitely
raisins
giving
in
me that vibe.
it.
And so I said, okay, so I had to go to the one black person I knew I could trust. And I was like, listen, who's also administration. And I said, we gonna have to call in the coalition or something,
Coalition.
because they kept choosing me as the one token black person, as if I was the only black person who worked at the school. And I'm
Hmm.
like,
There's a whole
I
caucus.
dare not.
There's a black caucus around here. Stop playing.
Is. I said, I dare not get up there and be like, me and these two white men put this thing together and exclude all these black people. I'm not, y'all not getting me told off and talked about.
Okay, you out here with Andy
Y'all not getting
and
me
Billy.
cornered.
You out here with Billy and Andy over here doing Black History Month, and you didn't tell us nothing about it. We like sugar plum.
Right. Because I how it would have went down. So I had to, we had to revamp the whole thing. We
It's not
changed
right.
the whole thing. But I still find myself, I said all of that to say that I still find myself kind of being a spearhead. Like, why don't, right, black card revoked. They would have revoked my black card
All
quick. I don't
day.
understand, like, why is there no enthusiasm behind it? Like, everybody's like, yeah, I want to participate, but then don't nobody do nothing
But
and
that's
say
the thing,
nothing.
Shayna. That's the thing. I don't know, because it's so funny, because that's why I was saying to you when we're jumping on. I was like, I miss that so
I do.
much. And I feel like our kid, like I've missed it. And then I think about our children, like they don't even think about it. It's like we got excited, honey. We knew February was coming, and we knew we was going to do some kind of like,
We could
it
show
was
our
going down.
talents.
It was
We
going
could
down.
do
We was doing all the things.
anything.
All the
Because it was,
things. We're doing all the
everybody
things.
was like, okay,
From
Black
blacks in the Bible to
we
I
could do
mean,
anything.
man, we learned about so much stuff as a result of, and it's great because like the church I currently go to, they take the kids every year to they take kids in the neighborhood in the community, and they get as many of them they can on a bus, and they take them to the Black History Museum in DC. This
Oh, my
year,
son did that.
this year they want to take them to Georgia. So they're gonna make a weekend trip of it, and
Mm-hmm.
then take them to Georgia to go down there to that area to do the whole Black History tour and all that kind of stuff. And I think that that's fantastic.
That is
But it
fantastic.
does. I think it's a fantastic thing that they do. However, and I learned so much because we had to learn it. Like we had
Yes.
to learn it. Like
We had to
that.
learn the information.
It was a part of the experience. We couldn't do anything without having to learn it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Doing the plays, learning the song. Like to this day, I I never will forget my first experience when I used to work in New Jersey for the Juvenile Justice Commission. One of the first things I ever did for them, and I was the math and science teacher, but they also put me over like arts or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
they decided that they wanted to do a Black History presentation and a tea. And they would do this Black History tea every year and invite all the big wigs. The cook, they had a cooking classes in school. The cooks would
Mm-hmm.
cook, and they wanted a presentation. And I pulled on my experience growing up, and we did. I took Girls Who Like Rainbows with Such and Such Ain't Enough, whatever that is.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
book.
Well, that book is about different colors. So I took those
Mm-hmm.
colors and I used songs and I replaced it and I kind of rewrote it and gave each character this experience. And we went on this journey with music from slavery time to present day, exposing music and how it evolved over, the decades.
Right.
Shane, it was fantastic.
I
They
know it
danced.
was.
Them kids sang. We did all the thing. I rewrote the thing. They had dialogue. Honey, we had dress. Like we had the cotton fields and the gym. We did the
I
darn
know
thing
it
and it
was.
was
It was
dope.
fabulous.
And it was so fly. And it just came out so nice. But the kid, what great for me was how much they learned.
Right.
Because I
And
couldn't take them kids in jail to no Black History Month
you couldn't
play.
take them nowhere.
So I'm like, how do I teach them?
Right.
When I tell you that them kids learn so much, especially about music and rhythm and sound and stuff, Shayna, it was profound. And so it was those opportunities, and I learned that in
Yeah.
church.
Same. And it's now that we finally got our little coalition going at school, they came up with an idea. We rocking with it. I'm not gonna say what it is in case somebody I know hop on here. I'm a little like the idea is cute, but I'm like, I'm with you. I'm like, what are the kids learning? What are we teaching them?
Right, right, right.
The way they set it up in a real kind of like, you remember Versus when we was in COVID?
Yeah.
Set it up like that, but they're not.
That's cool.
It's a really cool idea. But I was thinking, okay, if we're gonna do a Versus and we want to cover, are we just gonna do music? Are we gonna do poetry? Are we gonna do are we gonna go through time and say how tap dance started because drums were banned, and now are we gonna go through the whole time? Are we gonna
The lineage, yeah,
right? How the contributions kind of fed into each other, and then and it was like, well, we just want to pick people who kind of advance the culture, and I'm like, okay, but what does that mean? So it's a very cute idea, and it's a wonderful jumping off point, and I'm hoping that we can build on that next year, because this is the first year. Well, not the first year. This is the first year in a long time that they've had a concerted effort from all of the melanated folk to really put into a program.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that we can get this one to be like, okay, look, and then start planning now for next year, because they had nothing, and I was mad.
Right.
And I was like,
right.
I was really disappointed. And the kids, they don't even everybody who wants to participate in Black History Month is like, okay, Ms. Bradley, I want to do a dance. To what? And they'll pick some ridiculous TikTok song or something. I mean, I'm like, okay, well, what does that have to do with Black history? Well, I'm Black. Duh.
It's so convoluted. I just don't understand.
Y'all don't understand the point of why we're celebrating this month.
It's recognition of the things, the impact we've had on our history, right? It's not just how, it's because it really just, it's American history. And I think that that's the interesting thing, right? Because I feel like when we started saying that on a more serious note in the conversation, when we started to really say that and really understand that, it's American history. You cannot, no thread of American history is not touched by somebody Black. When you, in the last 20 to 30 years, the things I even discovered about the most obscure inventors.
Yep.
And had they not invented this, there would not have been an Alexander Graham Bell. Had this invention not come into play, there would never have been blood transfusions.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow. And the fact that we have been etched out of time.
A Black woman who invented the first home security system.
Shayna, we wouldn't even be able to put these telephones together, honey, had it not been for a Black woman. It was a Black lady.
It was a Black lady for the home security system, and it was a Black man who created the technology for a cell phone.
A cell phone. And I'm like, what in the world? For us to have these impactful spaces in invention and in this country is so, wow. It's very interesting to me that, and the moment we started to integrate it, but that's a whole nother conversation as well. The moment we started to integrate the idea that we are American history, I feel like it became more of a lackluster of an idea to celebrate Black history with any vigor.
Yes.
It's okay, it's still the reason why we celebrated Black history with vigor, and the reason why you're able to see now that American history is Black history is because we were celebrating Black history with vigor.
Yes. Yes.
We had to make them,
Yeah.
Hey, sis, how you doing?
His name was Jesse Russell, the gentleman who invented the first cell phone technology.
Yes. Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
So Royal was saying how she was scared of Black History Month.
Yes.
Hi, Cheryl. She said because she thought the ancestors would come to visit her at night to haunt her.
Girl, let's not even talk about that.
That's a whole other conversation.
That is a conversation, because honey, listen, I live out here in these good Virginia sticks, and my first year here, honey, I had to do some serious praying.
Yeah.
Because the things that I used to visualize and see in places and spaces, and you can't tell me I wasn't having like uh suck your soul moment. Like,
What was
woo,
it?
like,
What was
wait
it?
a minute.
Something place.
Somebody listen. I be like, I seen him running through the woods,
Mm-mm,
right over there. And right,
mm-mm.
and
I
just over
don't
here
need any of that
crying.
in my life. Thank you, Lord. No thanks.
Child, listen.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Sarah. I'm glad the Lord helped you though with that. That's a blessing. I'm glad that you opened yourself up to allow the Lord to help you through the
Cause
moments. She said her
it
mom
was
had to
bad.
come
Like
and get her.
I was sobbing one day. I never forget. Honey, listen. I had gone over there to the courthouse area over there, and ain't
Mm-hmm.
nothing but woods. And they
Oh,
got like these old, like they're still like old, like it's just spaces where
that. Oh,
plantations set.
oh yeah. And lynchings and all the things happen.
And when I tell you, Shane, that I was sitting out there and I came out to my car and I was in the car shaking and crying
You feel it. You
because of what you
feel
can
it. You feel
feel
the
in the earth,
sorrow and
the devastating
mm,
things that must have happened in these spaces, and that my whole body was overtaken and I was shaking and crying. You can say what you want to say. I don't know, maybe, and I know that I'm very spiritually open, and and there are things sometimes we over spiritualize and make it be all deep, but the reality is where trauma and devastation has occurred. Listen,
it
Cain and Abel, Cain's blood cried out from the ground.
right out from the ground.
That's what the Bible
That's what the Bible
says.
says.
All right, for all y'all deep saints that want to try to make me a
Yeah.
witch now because I done said that I
Right,
felt some
right,
things.
right, right, right,
The
right, right.
Bible says that
And
Cain's
you
blood
feel that. You feel
cried out
it.
from the ground, and I was over there by them courthouses,
And it
and
cries out.
somebody's blood was crying because I was feeling it in my whole
Yes.
innards, and
Yep.
I began to cry and weep and shake, and I couldn't drive my car. And it took me about 20 minutes to get my life
Yeah.
together. And
And
so when
that's
you're
how
in
I
these,
felt the other day when we were with you and we went to that brunch spot. And when
mhm,
remember I walked away and I came back and I was this place was a plantation. I mean, I know we all knew that,
right,
right? But I just felt in that moment like just I had like this thing just like vision, I guess, just crossed my eye, went through my thoughts of all these white people twirling around in that big old grand ballroom and
uh-huh,
they slaves outside in the backyard. Like it was like this sorrow that kind of just settles on you,
their
and you're like,
blood is
man,
crying
you
from the
just,
ground, child.
and I don't understand why it's so difficult for people to want to celebrate and honor it wasn't even a sacrifice because they didn't choose to do it, right? um I don't
Or
even know
to
what to call it.
dismiss it like it didn't happen. That's why you'd be like, look, Suge, I can't believe there's people out here dismissing it. And do I believe that we were indigenous people as well
Of
here
course.
on this continent before? Yes, we
Yes,
everywhere.
we were
Okay?
everywhere.
So yes, we were definitely indigenous. It doesn't take away from enslavement.
No.
you know, I believe we were indigenous and I believe we were enslaved. Don't take away from that either. But I think the reality is having these conversations, and it's so funny because even now having the conversation, who'd have thought that in 2025, after all the things that we've even experienced, like I have to, I had a moment the other day at work that was so triggering for me from back when I remember I got jumped on every time, and it's
Oh,
crazy
that
because every time
bus ride.
Martin Luther King's birthday comes around,
Oh, that was
it's funny. It was a day, and I never will forget that experience. And for me, I have to like stay prayerful all the time to not fall into a space of being like unforgiving or venomous or like or
because that
generalizing,
was
right?
straight up racial.
It was all day that was just it was intentional, it was racial, it was all the
You
things, right?
want to
And
tell the people what happened?
I mean, we could talk about it. So, the year that Martin Luther King's birthday was to be celebrated as a holiday, that first year that it came out, because people have this misnomer that we went to school, and we lived in the hood. I don't know what that's about. We lived in the suburbs, and
Yeah.
we probably, um, oftentimes only black
Person.
kids in class, right? Right?
Yeah.
One of two or whatever.
Yeah.
And the bus that we rode was very segregated. All the black kids sat in the front, all the white kids sat in the back. And it was Martin Luther King's birthday, and we were going to school because this was the first year that following Monday or something was the first time it was going to be celebrated as a holiday. And it was, I guess, the white kids in the back
We
had
were on our way
decided
home.
we were on our way home on the bus, and the white kids in the back had decided we are going to start some kind of things with these black kids. And we were sitting the closest to the back, me, you, and
And
Talisha.
yeah.
And we were sitting like we were on the
You were the
divide between where the white
middle
kids,
of the year.
right, we were right in the center of the bus, and on the divide between the black kids and the white kids, and so I guess we were the most convenient, all three girls,
Mm-hmm.
and this white boy comes up, takes off Talisha's hat,
Yep.
and pops her in the head,
Yep.
and out of just nowhere for no reason,
For no reason.
and Nick
And
gets
then
real
they
upset.
punched you or something, right?
Well, Nick gets upset and tells me that the person did that to her. So I go back there to find out why did you
Oh,
come up
right.
here to hit my sister? And so me, hey,
Well,
hey Val, me being the hands-on individual I was,
don't use that term. She liked to fight. It's okay.
very hands-on. Okay, I like to lay hands. I've been laying hands all my life. Hey, glory! And
In one way or another.
I took his hat off and I popped him upside his
Popped his
head and
hat.
asked him how he felt.
And you came back.
And I came back, and on my way back to my seat, two boys, I was in the
Yep.
6th grade, they were 8th graders, jumped me, pulled me between the seat with
Yep.
both my arms. And a third boy commenced at beating me in my face until the bus stopped.
Well, while that was happening, me and Talisha was jumping on their back.
Yeah, shit, till my
trying to
sisters were
get
trying to
them
fight.
off of you. The
Yeah.
bus driver, I think Talisha had jumped off the one guy, ran to the front, tried to get the bus driver to stop the bus. He wouldn't stop the bus, the white man.
Yeah.
All the black kids in
Well,
the
because
front
he was
did
deaf.
not help us fight
No,
this fight.
he was deaf. He was deaf. Remember,
That's
our
right.
bus driver was
He
deaf. He was
all
deaf.
the black kids wasn't deaf though. It
They
was
wasn't
just the
deaf.
three of us against these big 8th grade white boys.
Yeah, because I was in the 6th grade and y'all were 4th and 3rd grade.
We was fighting though. Me and Talisha was on backs. We was punching them in their necks.
And you jumped when the bus stopped. You jumped off and ran down to go get mommy.
like lightning to go get
and
mommy.
I never forget, Karen Cribb was the only person to stay on the bus.
And
when
blood
she got
on your rabbit coat,
my rabbit coat, because they beat my face in, child. And when I got up, I was bleeding from my nose. My new rabbit coat, the first time I ever wore it, had blood all down the front.
That rabbit coat.
And I never forget. Oh, I was so upset. And I came up from between them seats when them two boys let me go at that bus stop.
Off of him.
Honey, I hit him so hard. And I saw him years later. He still got a cut under his eye. I bust his eye wide open.
You knocked him out.
It was crazy.
Because remember, the bus had to stop.
Yeah.
He stayed there. The principal came over and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then whatever I did was so detrimental that he never got suspended.
Right.
I didn't get suspended either, but they didn't suspend him or the other two boys.
You got suspended.
I didn't get suspended. No, they beat me up. No.
Girl, listen, that fight, it was the Bradley girls against
Hey, Val.
that day.
Okay, yes, it was. That's why today we still a little bit, always gonna be down.
Always gonna be down.
So always gonna be down. And so, but I think it's interesting because I said all that to say, like, every year, my birthday is always the weekend. The celebration of Martin Luther King's is always around my birthday. Mm-hmm. So my birthday was a few days after that event as well, right?
Right.
And I go through a little something every year. And it's so interesting. Yeah. Like, I go through a little something, and I was in my office the other day, and I bust out crying. And I think it was because I was talking to my clients, and they were talking to me about this DEI stuff and all the things that are happening. And I was just like, Lord, and my whole soul, like, it was like I went, and I was like, it wasn't that long ago, right? That people were being beat for being black. And in the moment that I said that in my mind to myself, my mind went back to that moment in the 6th grade on the bus. And I remember, and I'm like, do people realize, like, there are living people. There are living people who've experienced the kind of racism that has been physically traumatic, like has been traumatic, and has caused trauma in the lives of people, and they're not dead. They're not dead.
It happened to us.
Right. It happened to us. They're not dead. It wasn't 100 years ago. You're listening to a woman right now tell you a story of something that happened in her lifetime that she remembers vividly. Like, I remember very few things vividly, but I remember the color of my rabbit coat. I remember the pair of pants that I had on. No, I had on a skirt. I'm lying. I remember the skirt that I had on. Yeah. I remember that the blood was on the right side of the coat, right, dripping down the side. Like, I remember so vividly all the things and the sadness I felt for days later, and then having to go back to school and as if it never happened. And not only that, the disappointment of knowing that there were bigger boys on the bus that we played with every day,
Black boys.
that we hung with all the time, that were the same grade as these other kids, and they did nothing,
No,
not feeling protected.
no.
And I just, so when they talk about, black women not feeling protected, and when all these things come up, I'm like, I have a very real personal experience that was very traumatic. Me and my sisters growing up as kids, where all of that happened in a very real experience, and it's
so you can
so
cuss them out. Ooh,
yeah.
y'all can
Yes, yes, Cheryl, it really happened.
It sure, it really
and
happened.
Cheryl, guess what else? This is the other thing that throws people off. We lived in New Jersey. So what? I didn't live in the deep South. It wasn't Alabama. I wasn't in Texas. It wasn't any of those things that, and it's not that I didn't feel sad, but I mean, my face was beat in. So I felt sad,
about
right?
that.
I
Val
felt
said
sad.
she
I mean,
felt empowered.
yes, I listen, the reality is it became very empowering for me as I grew older and had to move through forgiveness and things a different way. But to be physically beaten and like jumped,
We were jumped. Yeah, we
jumped,
were jumped that day by
and
white
beat
boys.
in my
Not white
face.
girls, not black girls. We were jumped by white boys on the
No, the
bus.
brothers did not step up, sis. Wasn't
No,
no
they
brothers to
didn't.
step. They didn't
No.
step up.
And I can name the
I
names,
don't
and
think
we're
I've
not going
ever.
to do it. And they sat
No,
right on
child.
the bus.
Yeah, they sat right there, and
And
they're
they
all alive today.
all of them are.
They're all alive.
Yeah, hey,
Um,
Crystal. Hey, Julian.
Hey, Crystal. Hey, Julian. And it's interesting to me because, and while I hear the empowerment piece come up, that's great, but it doesn't take away from the fact that somebody bashed my face in because they were mad and whatever their parents were discussing at home about Martin Luther King becoming a holiday had them so pissed off that they
That
felt
they
like they had
wanted.
to mess with three little black girls
Right.
on the bus.
And
So I don't,
Talisha was the smallest. So I
right,
guess they thought, let's pick
her,
on her.
right. And,
Right.
and,
And
and,
I don't know if they didn't know we were sisters or related. I guess they thought they could just do whatever they wanted to do to her and it was just gonna be okay. But they picked the wrong sister that day.
yeah, and I think for me, it's that experience alone. Like it was very intentional. It was an attack on my,
Yeah.
and so I mean, I listen. The reality is, it's not even the sadness that overtakes me; it's the frustration. And I think the trigger for me the other day was the fear that I hear in my clients' voices, the fear that I hear because my clients, are concerned. Like I have people who are extremely afraid and just or the fear that I hear in the voices of other people around me all the time. Um, yes, if it did happen in the DMV,
Big
Cheryl,
Brothers
they might have
probably
been
would have
rubbing.
been rumbling, honey, but
Yes, but it happened in New Jersey.
not
I
in
don't
the
know what the
dirty
little boys was thinking.
Jersey.
Not in
They
the
was
dirty
doing good,
Jersey.
gosh darn.
Mm. But I feel like it's just interesting, Shane,
It
and
is.
it's how it like that I feel people's fear. And I was in a meeting today, and we were talking about it. Came up again, and I wanted to cry, and I'm like, why am I crying? But it's because I know how people must feel. Like I understand that people's depth of fear,
Mm-hmm.
right, around what they imagine. People who have been through those kinds of experiences may imagine for
Oh, that's a good point.
themselves. Imagine for
My
themselves.
sister Val grew up in even more segregated school situation. She went to the same schools because we were in the same neighborhood, but
Right,
she
right, right,
was
right,
older than us. And we're talking about the early 60s, right? When she was in grade school, high
right.
school. So her comment was the white boys always wanted to fight the black girls because they felt like they
They couldn't
couldn't
beat the
beat the
black boys.
black boys, so they would beat up on the black girls. Then
Mhm.
Val said, but their encounters with her probably made them think that she was a boy.
Yeah, I mean, honey, I ain't leave no crumbs.
No, 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 no,
Listen,
no, no, no.
homeboy to this day got a scar on his face.
What's
Okay,
his
and
name?
I don't remember his name, honey. He didn't blink after I hit him because he was laid down in that seat,
Yeah,
honey,
he knocked him
across from
out.
me,
I do
clean.
remember that. Yeah.
Clean. So I ain't leave no crumbs, Suge.
Yeah.
I left no
Well, because
crumbs.
our big sister taught us well. She
Okay? Left no crumbs. I ain't playing no games. I
she
don't know
taught
why
us
people.
well. She is
No, no.
a golf cart
Right.
carton fighter to this
Yeah, I
day.
left no
But
crumbs.
she taught us well, and our parents never made, we were taught to do the right thing, but they ain't raised no punks.
You're right. So yeah,
So
I didn't leave no crumbs. I don't have no regrets on how I handled myself. Okay, the only reason why he got the best of me is because two people was holding my arms in between the
yeah,
seat, and I
and those
couldn't do nothing. I physically could not move. But when I
right,
got free,
yeah, and
when the
those were the
sister
back.
got
You and
free,
Keisha was on their backs trying to get them off of you.
yeah,
But we were little. I'm
yeah,
2 years younger than you.
yeah, three,
Talisha, 3 years younger than you. Talisha's 2 years younger than you. So you were in sixth grade. We were at a third and fourth grader.
fourth and third,
we
third and
were
fourth grade.
doing our best with
Yeah,
these eighth graders. But Val said
yeah.
she used chairs. Oh yeah, Val. I remember the story about Val hitting a boy with a metal lunchbox and
Child,
knocked
listen,
him
it
out.
was a life.
But
I didn't have, child, I've had my, I was the one hitter quitter.
and I
I remember having to hit, getting
right, and
called
I
the
think
N word coming in. I never forget that second grade,
mm-hmm,
right? I remember this gentleman's name to this day, and I knocked him so hard he flung into you know how they had the bathrooms in the classroom.
mm-hmm.
I punched him in the face so hard he fell out, stood across the floor, and bumped his head on the bottom of the toilet seat. Cause you could be calling me out my name, so I
No,
had no problem. Like I had no problems laying hands.
yeah, I
Amen.
remember when the boy he put the attack on my chair and wrote the N word on it.
I had that happen.
And I didn't, of course, I didn't see the tag, and I got mad, and teacher put me out the classroom, but I hit him with the check
Me
with the
too.
chair.
Me
You
too.
put the tag
I did too.
on the chair, you get hit with the
I got
chair. That's how they
Val had to
told
come to the
me.
school that day. It was the third grade. Somebody put a
Val
jack in
came,
my chair too,
Val came to the
and I
school
cut up so bad that they had to call somebody. And mommy was sick. Val
and
came
called
to the
Val.
school.
And I think for me though, for me, it's the kids that don't like they look at. I think they don't realize how close to them this
Right.
stuff is,
This is real stuff, and it
and
happened in
they
real life.
kind of don't even want to acknowledge it. They just want to do a TikTok dance. That's all. You just want to do a TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you
But
know
I don't think they realize the proximity, right? Proximity
Yeah,
means a lot. And I think sometimes people don't understand the proximity of hatred, the
yes.
proximity of
It's really
racism.
close. It's
It's not
not
far back. It's not
hundreds and
far
hundreds
away.
of years ago.
These are people I grew up with, so they still living and they have
Hmm.
children, and so they probably, still,
Yeah.
so it's not something that, and I'm not saying that everybody stayed in that place because I
No.
know that they did not. People grow and learn and live and become better.
And you
I'm
hope
not
that
saying at
they,
all.
yes.
Yeah, you would hope that they would grow, learn, live, become better people. I'm not saying that people stay in that place at all. I'm thankful and let me just say this, I'm thankful for who our parents were
Yes.
because while they taught, it was those Black History moments, that strengths that came up.
Hmm. I mean, well, not for nothing. Our grandfather, the reason why our mother's entire family is up here is because of what they were experiencing in the South.
Hmm.
Crosses being burned on Gump's farm, and it was he had to choose his family or that farm, and he picked up everything and he moved up here for them to not. And that, I mean, that wasn't that long ago. Val was a young baby, a youngster
In
when
the
that, and it
last
wasn't.
60 years.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago. And I think, for me, that I just be looking at these kids like you have no idea. Like you said, we could call people and who have had these experiences and in their lifetime that actually happened to them. It's not a story that was told to them about somebody else. It's not, something that they experienced or read in a book. It actually is a personal experience that happened to them. And they're I just want them to be aware and know that it's still a very real thing. And to honor that is to be able to honor that is an honor, to be able to take a look at how we've evolved over the people who have sacrificed their lives and the civil rights movement, man, and all of the things that happened in order for you to be able to stand here and choose to do a TikTok dance.
Hmm.
you know it,
Right.
it doesn't go, you can't see. that came at a price.
Yeah,
That
it
came
did.
at a price.
All these things, and I think that the sad part about um, allowing our history to go into or move into oblivion and not rage, um, rage against the darkness, right? Rage against the things that are happening. I mean, we rage in our own way. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. What I think we've forgotten is the power of the griot, the power of the storyteller.
Yes, for
Tell the
sure.
story. You can't just tell the story, right?
Mhm.
Tell the story. Let people know that, because when you tell the story about what happened to you or your experience or the things that you've seen
Mhm.
or the people that have been successful and who have done great things despite and against the odds, when you tell the story, someone else realizes, that they're looking at history, right?
Mhm.
They're looking at what change
Mm.
looks like, right? And the power of what that looks like.
I'm reading some of the things Val is putting in the chat about how our uncle, our mother's
I
brother,
remember
had
that.
to sit on the front porch of their home in Tennessee, Val, it was in
It's
Tennessee,
in Tennessee.
with a shotgun to protect his younger siblings.
Yeah, because Gump had come here first and gotten everything together. While he was doing that, Uncle Perk was down there
Trying to keep
staying up all night.
everybody
Yeah,
right
with a shotgun.
because the
Because they had,
KQ had come and burned a
right.
cross on his
Yeah,
uncle's farm in his yard and told him to leave.
yeah,
And so that left the older boys to kind of fend for the fam while he was setting up shop here
yeah.
in Pennsylvania.
And it's crazy because you think that it's, like I said, it wasn't, it's telling the story. I remember going to the family reunion and them telling the story. I remember Uncle Perk telling the story of our grandfather, I mean, his grandfather and his grandmother. I
And our
remember,
uncle is still alive.
yeah, that uncle is very much
Still
still alive.
alive.
And, and the interesting thing is, like, we're starting to see like these movies come out, the 6888. Like, I knew nothing about these women,
Mm,
right? Knew nothing about them until that movie came out. And it's so profound. Telling the story is
it is.
powerful because
It
it demands people
to pay attention.
attention and to pay attention to where, this, we're not going to continue to let this move, the Tuskegee Airmen, all the things. It's honoring and telling the story. So
Mhm.
that's what Black History Month does.
Yes.
It creates a space for us to tell the story of what, so that the next generation understands that, hey, in 2.5 seconds, you could be right back here.
Yep.
History, repeats itself when you act as if it didn't happen,
Yep.
right?
When you ignore it, it
Yeah.
sure does. Who else has joined us? Hey, Crystal. Crystal was saying, what is she? I can't.
It's the same demonic attack in a different situation. I'm learning about familiar spirits in a family's
Mm,
bloodline, and that's true. I mean, it really is. I think the naivete of it all, right? Because that's pathological in every way, right? The spiritual things are pathology to some degree, and work into our systems.
mhm,
Um, and so while that is true, the reality is it's it's violence and colonization and what it does, right? And the impact of it over time. And that spirit never dies. And so you're always, that's the spirit that, you're contending with and finding yourself battling and back and forth
mhm,
with,
mhm.
oftentimes. And so you got to be, we got to tell the story. These kids just don't know. And they are oblivious. It's all about a TikTok or Instagram or whatever's happening on social media.
Yep. And it's I try not, to educate them, and they be like, that was so long ago. So funny because I mentioned to what was I don't even know why it came up. I don't remember why it came up in one of my math classes about when I graduated from high school, and one of the girls was like, Miss Bradley. I was like, what? She was like, that was so long ago. No, it wasn't. I mean, no, it wasn't. And I think their concept of time may even be a little warped and a little off because they think that it like these things they really do feel like it was a long, long time ago, and it has. And some of them they feel like it's so long ago that it has nothing to do with them. Right?
And
It's like, well, they ain't had nothing to do with me. Oh, but it did. Like it does to this day. It has everything to do with you, especially if you're a black child in America. It's
Well, I
got
think
everything to do with you.
technology has a lot to do with that too, and connectivity, like we were talking
Yeah.
about last week. That the culture itself is it's this superficial idea of connection. There's no real connection. We didn't have an option or a choice, right? We saw multiple generations all together, right? We
Yes.
saw
Yeah. True.
multiple generations all together in the same space. My mind goes back to Tyler Perry's Family Reunion
Mhm.
movie and how at one point in time you see these multiple generations of people and he takes this span
People
of the
saying bye.
landscape, right? Just the landscape span, and you see how the culture has changed and evolved from one generation to the next, but they're all in this space together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it puts it that connectivity shortens the distance in the minds of younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew my parents were older, right?
Right.
And and I would think that they were outdated about certain things. But because I knew my grandparents and I knew people even older than them, and I
Mm-hmm.
experienced them on a regular
That's
basis, whether it was
true.
church or family outings, and
Mm-hmm.
I heard them tell the stories. It just the distance between it and me
Felt
wasn't as far.
short. Yeah.
Felt close because these tangible people I was in relationship
Yeah.
with,
That makes sense.
right?
Yeah.
And
And so
so,
yeah, those spaces are a lot shorter. And great grandma, Mima, and those people don't exist no more.
mhm,
Yeah, Pop Pop and the Gumps and the Pop Pops of the world. It was so I was black. It was back. What did we have yesterday? Uh, Parent teacher conferences, and one of the parents came in. She looked really young. She was in her early 30s, and they were like, "She's a grandmother." I'm like, "Huh?" Because her son is in high school. I said, "What?" Oh yeah, her son so and so. He had a baby like last year. I was like, really? Like in high school? Like, I mean, not that it wasn't happening back then, right? It happened, but even then, like parents were just older. I don't know.
more
It's just
mature.
the more mature and a little bit,
Mhm.
yeah. And it's just a lot to. It's
We was old. Shoot, we were some old kids.
we were old kids. We were old. We had older parents,
Hmm.
and we had. You figure mom didn't have me until she was 36 or 37 years old,
Hmm.
you know, and by that time I had a sister who was grown, going to college. So she took us around her old friends,
Hmm. And they was old.
and we hung out with her in college, and we hung out with her everywhere, and
Yeah,
all of
well,
her friends
so
was our friends, and then so that makes a lot of sense though why they don't have that concept of time and connection, because it's just not those generations ahead of the or behind ahead of them don't exist.
hmm
They're not there, or they're 12, and it's like what you don't know
right,
much more than I know,
right.
because
You just
you only
yesterday.
18 years older
Yeah,
than me.
you just yesterday.
Yeah, you was yesterday. Yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
just yesterday.
it was just yesterday.
Yes.
Crystal was saying, I see these behaviors traveling, and she's trying to explain to the younger generations how their behaviors are mimicking their elders. In what way? Because mimicking their elders is her comment. That she's saying that.
Mimicking their, I guess she's talking about negative behaviors maybe and what they pick up on. And that's a different conversation. Like I think that's a different conversation in regards to like spiritual and generational curses and things of that nature
Mhm.
and all that kind of stuff and identifying, bloodline stuff. Those things are important to understand, but when you think about, see, that's a soapbox for me. But so I'm not going to go down it, but there are so many things. What I would suggest you do is not just do not domestic violence, addiction, of course, those things, but not just do a deep dive on just the spiritual part of it, but understand it. This is a book written by a Christian woman that helps you understand the mental health side and the psychology of
Mhm.
it too. It's called post-traumatic slave disorder, and it really helps Dr. Joy DeGruy. It really helps to put some things in perspective and how the open doors for those things to happen. And it is largely impacted. I mean, it's the hypothesis is built on the idea
Mhm.
that enslavement, and the trauma of enslavement and living this history out in the Americas as Black
Mhm.
people has indelibly impressed on us genetically,
Right.
spiritually, and mentally.
Yep.
So physically, spiritually, and mentally, there is an indelible impression. And so understanding behaviors, right, that come from thoughts that are generated by the health or dysfunction of one's spirit, um, is steeped in our experience here in this country and the history of our people. And so I think we can't, in having these conversations, it's important to explore all of that idea when we talk about passed down behaviors, but that is a different conversation. I think what's important, and I know we were trying to cover tonight, was just really the idea that we need to remember.
We need to remember. Make it a point. And I think, that's a good point to make as we're getting ready to go into our Be Mindful moment. Um, is we need to remember. We need to remember that it wasn't that long ago. We just need to remember that it happened, and because it happened, we are who we are today, and we can be who we are today. Because if it hadn't happened, if those people didn't do the things that they did, if they didn't invent the things they did and go through what they went through and sacrificed and civil rights and marched and bled and died and hung, and man, if you get an opportunity, I encourage everybody, I don't care who you are, to take a trip to the African American History Museum of History. What is it? African American
Museum
Museum
of History.
of History Museum.
Yeah, I think so.
That in Washington D.C.
Mhm.
It's free admission. It doesn't cost anything to go inside, and once you're inside, you can stay as long as you want. But you figure it's what, 5 stories, including the basement area where
Mhm.
the enslavement and the slavery and imitate all that. It's in the bottom floor, and it's still not everything. They did a magnificent job of curating as a man, just the everything, nothing, things that you never even knew about. I encourage everybody to go and take a visit and spend the day and learn some things about yourself, about your culture, about your history, about everything Black. It's a really, really great way to
Yeah.
get a good overview. It talks about everything from slavery to our contributions to art and music and technology, cooking, everything, everything that we've touched, which is everything, um, is there, and it's beautifully done, and it's a great, 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 great reminder.
I,
And then start a
I
Black
think,
History Month program.
yeah, I think it's important, and I think, despite what's happening in our culture and what's going on around us, to do those big things and to do that as well, but grab some young folks up and gather some people
And
together and tell yours. So you are Black History. I think that was one of the best campaigns ever.
yes.
When they did that campaign, I Am Black History campaign, and then
Mhm.
people were just showing, I am Black History, because we are American history. We are Black history as Black people in this country, and we have a responsibility, to our generations to tell the stories,
Mhm.
tell the stories that your grandparents told you. And if you don't know them, ask, you
Ask.
know, find somebody in your family and ask the questions, child,
Mhm.
you know, ask the questions and figure it out and talk and inquire. And sometimes the answers will be difficult, Yeah, well, Uncle Billy been an alcoholic for 20 years. Well, Uncle Billy daddy. Well,
Mhm.
Uncle Billy
Mhm.
great granddaddy,
Yeah, it's important to
understanding,
know.
it's information you need to know, diabetes, Pam, great grandmama Pam had diabetes and lost all her,
My
limbs.
great
Oh, cause
grandmother.
she,
Yeah.
so, you got to know, but
Mhm.
we don't know. Okay, People perish for the lack of knowledge and
Yep.
information, and we get caught up in the controversy
Yeah.
instead of just telling our
Yes.
stories, right? What do we know to be true? We can get caught up in the brouhaha and the controversy so quickly.
But go
I don't need it.
go back to that statement you just made
What?
about you said what was it you said right before they get caught up in the brouhaha?
We
Uh,
get caught up in the controversy.
right, caught up in the controversy. But you said what it perishes because of what it doesn't.
A lack of knowledge. People
Yes,
perish for the lack of knowledge.
right. So, and that's the thing, right? They're trying to keep people unaware on
Mm. Or
purpose or
distracted.
distracted because they know that if you don't know, if you're not taught, they just think that we'll like fade into oblivion
Mm.
and cease to exist. And that's what they want. That's what they want.
Yeah.
So don't let them win. Don't let it happen. Tell the stories. Talk to your ancestor. Talk to your not the ancestors.
No, I'm telling you.
Don't talk to. They might think you crazy. Don't talk to the ancestors. Talk to your elders, to the people in your family, to the people in your neighborhood, in your community, in your church, at your school. Talk to somebody older than you and get some information about your history, because you are Black history. We are all Black history. Hi, the
We
real
are.
Cam. Thank you so much for
Hey.
joining us tonight. I thank everybody for joining us tonight. I look forward to everybody having a great Black History Month and finding something great to do in some way to celebrate our history and our heritage.
Yes, and in my mind for a moment, it's just uh, to walk through this time period and season, just knowing, and I have to say this, right,
Mhm.
to trusting God because He's always been with us, right? So it's
Yes.
never a time when the Lord is not with us, and to lean into Him the more and to know that He is on our
Yeah.
side. I was telling
Yeah.
people today, know how to pray. And it is not that prayer is an excuse to not take arm or action. Faith is work,
Faith is
we have a
working.
working
Yeah.
faith. But also know that parent prayer is a part of the strategy of faith and knowing how to be strategic in your prayer life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all need to start reading some Psalms and stuff and understanding that you can ask God to contend against those that contend against you
Yes.
and know that God will do that, and just be aware, like just allow God to be present with the Lord and know that He is present with you in whatever your experiences are, and we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be
Yep.
afraid.
Don't
We don't
have
have
to
to
be
walk in
afraid.
fear at all. That the Lord is with
He
us.
is with us. And I'd like to thank everybody for being with us tonight, for
Yeah,
joining us here at Church Girls Chronicles.
we appreciate
Um,
it.
because you don't have to, and we appreciate it. Hit a
Mhm.
couple more hearts, hit a couple more 100s, like and share and follow us wherever you can find us, which is right now on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for listening to us go on about our childhood memories. And we
Thank you.
look forward to seeing you guys next week right here on Church Girls Chronicles.
Yes, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are the best. And remember, like and
Like
share.
and
Oh,
share.
I'm in the wrong department.
I don't. Is it gonna do it?
The thumbs have to be closer.
My thumbs?
More, no, not together. She's not getting it. So there it is. All right. Bless your hearts and all your parts. We'll see you
We love
next
you guys.
time. All
Take
right.
care.
Be
Bye.
well.
See you
Have a
next
great
week.
night. See you next week.
Bye.